Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at the StudyVag feature, so basically the program feature, where you can select which specific program you want to search for in which schools available in. So here we go.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the sorting, at the sorting by the StudyVag, which is basically like the program. So first I'll just run it to show you what we're looking at. So here we have this, and then we're going to be looking at this bit, so the StudyVag, so basically the program. So if I select, for example, nature, which is sciences, and if I say 10 kilometers, then as you can see, we get all of these within like 10 kilometers only for nature. If I say I want nature and society, then we get both of the programs. If I say I want nature, society, and let's say children and free time, or okay, not all of these, wait. If we say nature, society, and okay, so selecting all of these. But if we say this many, then you'll get like then you'll get schools or like schools with all these programs within 10 kilometers of where you are. So if we go over here, so then here this is like where we're using StudioVac over here. So it's basically the button. This is like for the front end, so this is a label. So over here, this is like this bit. And then we have all of the buttons that, or all of the options, so like nature, society, and all of their values, or like kind of like codes. So that's basically what we have over here. Then if we go here, and sorry, if we go over here, then if we go and search StudioVac, there's two things. There's a StudioVac code as well. So like it's basically like short form for the program. So they're pretty much the same thing. So here we have it when we're trying to get the gymnasium details, because each gymnasium, like it could be that there's one gymnasium which has, for example, nature, society, and economics. So then when we're getting the gymnasium details, then we can decide like if we want to get the nature, so if we want to get details for the nature program, for the economics program, or what you want the details for. That's where we're using it here. And that's the only place we're using it actually. So we're basically just this part of like the details from the like the year, like which year we're getting the data for. So it's basically part of the data. So the same gymnasium can have many different. So for example, here we have a fast gymnasium. So then it has economy and it has society. Or we have this American one. So there you have society, it has economy, and it has nature, and another version of the economy. So these ones that you see over here, like if we say, so these are basically like the studio bags that we see over here. And these are the studio bag codes. So it's a bit, and then if we go to this file and if we say studio bags, so here this is like if programs is not none. So obviously you need to select a program. So then if the program is not none, so basically if that basically means that we select something here. So if we select something, then the program is not none. So then we're basically adding the studio back to the query so we can get details like for that specific program as well. And then also over here we have when we're we're gonna be looking at CTEs later, but when we're getting like the paginated data for school, so here we're also getting like the studio bag and the studio bag code. And over here again, we're gonna be looking at CTE later, so this is like, but this is also like, we're just adding it to the query when we're trying to get the details. And over here, if we look, so here, yeah. So then this is basically like for the cards. So like these cards over here that we're getting is basically like when it says studio bag over here. So it's basically for the cards over there. So that's where it's being used. So this is how we're using studio bag and where all it's mentioned in the code. So basically what it does is you can select the program of your choice there.